You can ask me questions later. I'm not a rock star.
Okay, alright.
Just as Bubba said. Alright, you guys, here we go.
My name's John Zufair, and I play keyboards for Octopus Nebula. You'll have any questions for us?
I'll go now. I'm Nick Baum. I play percussion for the Eminence Ensemble, and I will answer anything you want me to.
Jason Hand with Ioto. Did a massive DJ set earlier this morning. So ready for any questions.
I'm Ishi. I'm a DJ out of Denver. Talking points for us right now are top 20 release on a Beatport for dubstep. Just got Westward's top dance DJ, and we're talking about Dr. P and Flux Pavilion. I'm a submission resident as well, so if you have any questions about that stuff, let me know.
I'm Damon, musician with Signal Path.
Tanner, drummer for Eminence Ensemble.
Zach, play bass for Eminence Ensemble.
Justin, play guitars.
Sweet.
Ricky, I'm with Additional Connections. We're based out of Denver, and we just do like live sets of all original remixes.
We got one last person who just showed up. We got Aaron.
Hey, what's happening, guys? My name's Aaron Holstein. I play in Zilla and Vibe Squad, and
Alright, so now it's up to the media. Have at it.
Jason, you guys play a lot of festivals this summer. What makes you play festivals rather than, doing this?
Well, we definitely go pretty hardcore on the touring too. But it's just that time of the year. During the summertime, it's really hard to like put a tour together unless you're like a traveling giant event that's going on. So during the summer, we tend to just play weekends like that. Or if we are going to do like a club or something and do our own show, it'll be making sure that there's no other festivals anywhere nearby. But yeah, summer's all about the festivals and just hitting as many reaches as possible. I think we've got one weekend where we're doing New York on the Thursday, and then like Oregon on a Friday, and then like Texas on the Saturday. So there's some crazy stuff, but we really want to try to make it happen and cover as many regions as we can.
Just thinking about festivals though, do you like to play more than regular shows?
It's not necessarily. Yeah, it's not necessarily more, but you reach out to so many more people. So many people like for an event like Sonic Bloom. I've gotten so much feedback on the lineup, just everyone that's out here. And it's such a no-brainer that some people are coming to see, some groups in particular that they really like, but there's so many other people that are going to be turned on to like maybe seeing us if they haven't seen us or haven't seen us in a while, or maybe seeing Vibe Squad's set that's going to be like, oh, I haven't seen it in a minute, coming back to revisit it, like, oh my God, and you win back fans, you gain some new fans. So festivals are way more open to that new discovery of music. And who did I see yesterday? Who are those guys? Something Gravity, Unlimited Gravity, did a set after Party, and I was like, wow, kind of killed it. So that's what I love about festivals, getting turned on to new music. And especially Sonic Bloom has such a great history of that in particular.
Jason, another question for you, kind of an extension of that question. How does it feel for you when you hear that another artist has gotten really popular from playing Sonic Bloom, playing a show with you? How does that make you feel?
Oh, awesome. The more the merrier. And Colorado is pretty freaking rich like that, big gigantic. I don't know if Big Gigantic's done Sonic Bloom before, but yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah. But I mean, there's just all kinds of people that are coming out of Colorado in particular that have this super, fast rise ascent. Vibes and Aaron's all super national and killing it all over the country. And,
Sonic Bloom.
Yeah, you know, and it's like this is a gathering spot. I think they've had the variety in the lineups. Like, you know, when you bring someone, say like Tipper or like Mala this morning or something like that, you're gonna get, you know, some people that like just want to see those guys, and all of a sudden they're hearing this like all this other super rich talent, not only in the Colorado, you know, area, but there's such a wealth from Colorado. As with Jensen yesterday, or holy crap, you know, there's some good stuff.
J-Man with MusicMarauders.com. Can anybody speak to the unique sound system that's being utilized at the main stage?
Absolutely. Function One, it's a British PA made by some really smart guys that modeled the I guess they started off with turbo sound, and they spun off on their own and built these sound systems listening to James Brown and P-Funk on them. Mostly it's just like bass music sound systems, and they're pretty common in the UK, and in the United States there's probably maybe 10 systems. You know, there's one at Smart Bar in Chicago, a couple in Las Vegas, a couple in Miami, and then these guys have a quad PA, they're Nexus, this team, and they actually bring it to Burning Man every year and run parties in Santa Cruz. I'm doing a show with Tipper next week at Santa Cruz with the same quad PA, so that they own it and they tech it themselves.
Are you able to rotate the sound?
I've been at festivals where they're facing in, all four, and that's incredible right in the middle.
Is that not what they have going on?
Today they've got them all, I think
they're inward.
Maybe you're right. I thought they were, okay, well,
I saw something.
I just kind of walked through and I thought that they were kind of extending, like, you know, like it's half and then another set going further out. But whenever they do it in quad, it's really sick.
So you are able to kind of...
Yeah, you can aim it. It gets a little, like, as soon as you aim speakers at other speakers, then you're going to have phase issues and all kinds of stuff. These speakers are so flat and they have so much power in the bottom end that they don't need to put out too much juice for you to feel bass like throttling through your body. So it doesn't distort, you know. That's kind of the deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Rob, GotBassMusic.com and Loto Magazine. I have a question for Ricky over here. How does it feel to be one of the artists that is going to have more success from playing this festival?
It's really been a pleasure being able to be a part of something like this, because like I really have been into music festivals in general. Like playing with some of the people that influenced me most and drum, like it really is amazing. It feels like only things can get better from there.
I want to intrude real quick. We have David Starfire just joined us as well. Just want to give you guys a quick, you know, let you know he's here. If you have questions from Starfire, he's also here in the house. Sorry, thanks.
Alright, my name is Chris, aka Godblazer with the Music Magazine. I have a question for Nate. What would you say to aspiring dubstep producers right now? I know you're heavy into production. What would you say to young producers right now trying to make that sound?
I mean, I think the first thing is like, I tell people, pay attention to what's going on in the genre around you. You know, if you're making music for DJs, then you ought to pay attention to what their needs are. I think synthesis is a big deal right now. Really, like a really big deal. Investing the time to really create your own bases and, you know, kind of have that own thing. I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. I listen to that dude down there a lot.
Any particular VST shout-outs?
Should I tell him? It's massive. Yeah. But I'm not going to tell him about the voice. So someone else can tell him about the voice.
Well, I'll comment on something about that. I mean, what did I hear? I heard a track from this kid named Atomic. He's like 16 years old. And it freaking slammed, really? Oh my God. Yeah. I was listening to it, and I mean, there's such a generation growing up that it's so easy. I mean, first of all, just about everyone's got a computer, and from like the simplest, program to like the most complicated program, you can go and find how to get around on it on YouTube if you got an internet connection. So many, in particular young people, but really anybody that wants to get into it, if you have some patience and an open mind, you can, if you want to be I don't know if you want to be, but if you want to go after like a Skrillex sound, you know, you just put in Skrillex, you know, bass, rip your face off. How do you do that? And then there's, you know, someone made a YouTube video about how to do that.
I mean, he's kind of a perfect example of somebody really young that figured it out on his own and is taking it far. Like, you know.
It's really amazing. And the same goes, I think you just mentioned drums and stuff. I mean, drum playing live instruments, guitar and stuff, and there's so many killer things online that if you want to do something with music, it is so good, so within your grasp to do it. And at that point, it's just putting in, like I'm sure everyone here has put in a ton of freaking work to try and make it happen. And then somewhere along the line, you got to find your voice too. But you know, while you're in it, it's all accessible.
I have something to touch on with that too, which is like where I met you. We do submission. We do a Tuesday night thing at Cervantes Other Side. You know, it's like all the same family, and I stage manage, and so it's like what, we're gonna do 4 half-an-hour slots, right? It's like a competition every week, and it's like we do this every week, and every week there's at least 2 or 3 out of the 4 guys all original music. I've been playing for 16 years. It's never been like this. These guys are coming up like 1-2 years in with like 2 hours of original material.
That's great.
It's really intimidating for old guys. So Colorado, man, is like really, I feel, I know I've been saying it for years, and it's guys like, you know, Aaron started it, a couple guys like Jansen was mentioned. You know, Colorado's had a slew of #1 dubstep hits on the charts. I mean, there's weeks that go by where you'll have 8 or 10 artists from this state, like, actually selling music and participating on an international level. I don't really feel like any city's doing it, and I don't feel like any city's sharing as much knowledge and as much information as we are with each other. I mean, there's a lot of community amongst, there's not normally community and cooperation amongst musicians and producers, and I think it's a very rare thing, and we're very lucky to live where we live and have this kind of idea where we can all talk and share secrets and all that shit.
The only other place I've seen it like that is New Orleans with jazz musicians. That's the only other place that you know.
Or like New York City with, you know, the kind of thing where it's just a really interactive. I mean, I've never seen it. And actually, when you travel around, people are aware. There's an awareness of Colorado and Denver just being like the mothership for the bass music, and it's so cool because it came from all of us just loving the music and going out all the time to hear our friends play. It wasn't really a hyped up, phony, didn't get pushed on us from an outside source. It was just, you know, a real hunger for this kind of music. And, you know, like at the first Sonic Bloom, you know, I remember having to totally try to twist Lauren Bassnecker's arm to come and play our like jam festival, and he was like, 2 days, you want to play 2 nights in a row? And I'm like, nah, these kids, that's what they like. You know, just good. And it really kind of merged a cool thing, because I think everybody in Colorado was already really social and festive and liked to go out and everything, but you add like really amazing heavy bass music to the equation, and it really seemed to create an organic scene that we couldn't have faked, you know. So I love it here. I feel like it's the coolest place to come out to.
I got a question for you guys. My name's Marang from Swagger, and I know a lot of you guys are based out of Colorado. I know, like, Octopus, I've been watching you guys play, you know, Colorado Grove, and Jason and Ishi and Aaron. I know you guys like a lot of different genres of music. How do you guys build off each other? Just having a commonality of being from Colorado. How do you feed off each other? Just having that in common.
I feel like there's a genre respect. You know, like I feel like no one has the same kind of music on their iPod straight through, like the whole thing. Everyone has a slightly eclectic or very eclectic taste in music. And with the internet and all this information and how fast we can keep up with each other and tweeting and stuff like that, it's just, if you're open to cool music, I think I have as much in common with every single person sitting here. We all listen to maybe totally different things on our daily basis, but what we have in common is that like bass face comes natural to us. You know?
Can I ask you a question as the publicist? Let's speak on Britney Spears and Black Eyed Peas putting out dubstep albums this year.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's pop music now. I mean, it's really like it hits, I think high school kids that were really into rock and roll are getting that kind of adrenaline rush from dubstep right now, and they like going front row and just having they're like, when I play, and there's a bunch of dubstep guys playing before me, when I start, there's always some bros in the front row going, "Melt my face, dude!" It's like this totally different approach. I'm always like trying to make people feel good, and these guys just want to full ass kicking, you know, and it's, but I think it has that youthful kind of energy, you know, if it's maybe a little heavy in the testosterone side of things, but that goes into the mainstream and makes sense to everybody, you know, that whopping huge feeling that people get when the bass drops makes sense to Britney Spears as much as it does to anyone who's like trying to figure out what kind of music, and someone who works with producers, they're gonna call the hottest, youngest producers to work with, and so you end up getting Rusko working with Britney Spears, and you end up getting, you know, like Skrillex doing all these pop tracks for everybody, and it's just the soundtrack of the planet right now.
It's not new either. I mean, if you look at EDM over the last like maybe 15 years, you see it all the time. I mean, remember when Timbaland got big, he was doing all the drum and bass, like he basically invented drum step because he was doing all the like triplets and like double time hi-hat riffs.
Yeah.
And then, you know, another perfect example is when Prodigy really kind of got big, and you had like that big beat thing like in the late 90s where you had like Prodigy, Chemical Brothers, and then you saw that kind of move over, but the underground always persists. You know what I mean?
And even Madonna, pretty much every record that she's come out with, it's from, you know, whether at the time like when Paula Folds was really hot or something like that, she's like tapping in to that. So before it hits mainstream, all of a sudden, wow, where'd she get this new sound from, even though it's been around?
Because she's been going to clubs and I mean, hip hop knew a lot about this music. They got the biggest hit this summer is like that Chris Brown and Chris Brown and Busta Rhymes and Lil Wayne over that Diplo beat. It's a simple thing. It's straight bass, like it's like our kind of bass, but it's a very mainstream radio rap tune right now, and that's just those guys paying attention and calling Diplo.
It doesn't hurt us, man. I mean,
no, it's cool.
It's good to have gateway music, you know, and for us, like, bassline guys, like, I've been a bassline guy for a long time, and I play break beats, and then so it was like what people were coming into the scene on was trance, or house, and that was a long ways away from what we were doing. So for me now, like, there's a lot of fire and controversy around it before, but I feel like what we're doing, you know, it's like less of a leap. And I mean, and as far as like the whole like collaboration thing is good, is like what I like is like once they lock onto a sound, like the way that we use instrumentation, the way that we use VSTs. I mean, you know, like we all know that. Like by the time that one of those tunes comes out, we're like a year ahead on synthesis. Like, so it's like they're always a little behind.
Yeah, it's usually anything big is signal that it's time to change shit up and take it to another place. You know? That's like the big calling of like, okay, someone else is really whatever the
this got fire, guys. Let's try
and you're on. You gotta keep it inside. You gotta stay way ahead of it.
Far ahead.
Far ahead.
It's hard.
Here's kind of a common question for everyone. What sets Sonic apart from other festivals? What makes it unique and special?
How about being in the middle of the beautiful Rocky Mountains? I mean, can it be any better than this? Yeah, that's really beautiful. It's beautiful here. It's a real pleasure.
You know, it all started when me and Jamie and Travis were doing Zilla. We were on the road and we had an offer to play the Mishawaka, and we decided to turn that into a real festival as opposed to just a one-off gig with some openers, and like bring all of our friends and make it a 2-day thing and like try to figure out camping. And so we had Bass Nectar and the Fungineers and UAs before the Glitch Mob and all that stuff. And it was just, you know, Jamie and I had gone together to a whole lot of California camp out festivals because we were doing a thing called Spork on the side with UA. And so we had already played a lot of festivals that this is modeled after. You know, there's like Nexus, the guys that brought the sound system that's on the main stage. We've been going to their festival for 7 years, I think, called Rain Dance in Santa Cruz, and there's a lot of them. And so I think that based on, you know, me and Jamie just cruising around like festivals and Burning Man and you know, just being like, wow, we should do this or we should do that. And Jamie is really lifetime enthusiast for festival culture, and so he just really took it beyond, you know, and I think what's different about it, what makes it different than maybe Telluride Bluegrass Fest or some of the other Colorado festivals, is the contemporary electronic music aspect of it. And you know, it kind of merged the jam band scene, but brought it forward into like the clubbing, raving, whatever you want to call it scene, and then that together is a really cool environment. But it was basically copied off a lot of West Coast stuff that we were into all the time.
This is questions for anybody who wants to answer it. What are your thoughts on the utilization of mind-altering substances in relation to the electronic scene and genre specifically? And silence. Thank you guys.
I'm not gonna lie, like there are a lot of people that really say that to listen and enjoy electronic music you need to take mind-altering substances, but personally I don't think that's the case, because I know a lot of people that don't really do anything like that, like some people that are straight edge, and it's like it's really something that drives them, like the music is their drug, and it's like it's really not like I feel like it's seen worse than it actually is.
I think the music in general is textured, you know, and I mean, obviously drugs, they can be involved in any other music. I mean, my dad did drugs at Jimi Hendrix 40 years ago. It's just like, I mean, you can do drugs in any musical, you know, extravaganza and have a great time.
Do you feel that it's not more prevalent on this scene?
It's a genre of music, and the fact is that it has what it has, and if you have to do that, then do it, but bottom line is there's still structure and there's still heart to it.
I mean, I read somewhere that, you know, every single great musical genre has some type of substance that's built into its DNA in a way. You know, I mean, jam bands from the 60s, disco in the 70s, early 80s, you know, electronic music now. I mean, it's like, it's been a part of music forever, and, you know, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Well, I think that, you know, human beings using substances to achieve altered states and then dancing for as long as they possibly can till they're totally worn out and see a sunrise is like that couple thousand years old as a concept, you know? And I think that it's really nothing new in our culture, in rave dance culture, from disco, from everything. There's a get together and get high together kind of a culture that runs through and around it. I think it's really attached itself to our American based, you know, rave culture a lot. I think that it's a rite of passage for kids when they're really young to like go crazy and experience something beyond their normal. Is it productive? It's certainly not. I mean, you know, I'm here with my kids, you know, it's something that I have to deal with thinking about all the time, you know. Sure. I think people should really take care of themselves. I think that people should really love themselves and you know, and like and there's no point to it's not a contest. And so that aspect of it is a turn off to me. But you know, everyone has to follow their own path to find their heartbeat or whatever. And so this is one of them. And I don't think that everyone that goes to these things is into the drugs culture, but they're probably a good amount.
I appreciate your answer.
I can speak to that question too. You know, I've been sober for 5 years, and you know, the thing is like, I agree. Drugs have been a part of every music scene. But I think what differentiates this is, you'll notice there's a distinct difference between the artist pool and what you hear from like other, you know, generations past. I don't know about you guys, but like, you know, the way that we make our music today, like DJ producer / like band live looping model, is so much more complicated. And there's so much more that's expected of us that, you know, like excessive drug use and partying isn't necessarily conducive to being successful or being able to produce the level of complexity and musicianship that's expected. And that's the other thing like that's interesting about bass music is like, when I sit down to write a tune, like, did you ever do that where you're like, you think about what it is that you've had to learn to be able to be at a place where you can come and play something like this. Right. It's the amount of time that it takes, the amount of effort, and the amount of dedication doesn't lend itself to that. And I can say that the majority of people that I work with in this industry, guys that I see from festival to festival, are not what you would call real hardcore guys that get down with that. You see it every once in a while, but not like the old school like Jet Forces stuff that you were stay in microphone?
I know for my world in Eoto, there were a couple of times when we were first trying to play, and I might take something here and there just to play during the set. And with a lot of other bands, I can get away with it because other stuff is just it really lends itself differently. But there's so many technical things going on stage for me in the Eoto world, touch screens, the way things are hooked up, and we're kind of constantly troubleshooting. As much as we're playing music, we're also troubleshooting, and I just get so not smart, or all of a sudden I don't even know how to put my drum set together, and I just don't like that feeling at all. It's it's not even fun. And then on the other side of it, there's this sort of bar, especially playing night after night on the road. I like to party after the shows and stuff, but before the shows and during the shows, I really like to feel that sense of this is the vibe, this is how I'm feeling, where things are at. And if I need to take it up a notch or bring it back or communicate more with Travis on a particular thing, then I really like to feel I understand where that bar's at night after night, and feel like I'm just so on top of my game and psych myself up to that point. And it gets me, almost higher than anything else to be in that mode and feel like I got my shit together, and that I'm riding with the crowd. That's it. That's really powerful. It's super.
Thank
you. It really does.
Well, it's kind of on that line. I mean, are there times where you guys aren't communicating well, or you're like, I'm doing this, what are you doing over there?
we have a little more of a unique thing since Travis has almost all the harmonic information. I have all the rhythmic information. We have less chances of clashing per se, and sometimes if we're on a different mindset for we could be in sort of techno mode 4 on the floor, and I'm just fuck it, I'm gonna drop to halftime, but keep all the other stuff riding. But maybe not signaling him is gonna feel like it's gonna be even better like that, because it's gonna be a surprise, and all of a sudden he's gonna jump to his keyboards and try to react to that. Whatever comes out, it's gonna be a lot more spontaneous and do something that we don't know it's gonna do.
Led Zeppelin style.
Yeah. Just jump in with both feet, and maybe it's a good thing if you mess up, because something better will come out of it. No wrong notes, Miles Davis.
It doesn't work as well for Amy Winehouse though.
No, they just got her guitar off.
Yeah, no.
They're and your mic
her
was
backup
shut
singers
off.
had to finish up for her.
Thanks for showing up. Hey, Jason, I'm going to ask you again as the bad publicist, but Jason, can we speak on networking on stage and what that is and why you guys network? Because that's unusual, right?
Network, I'll say, as far as looking at the...
Like networking and why you're networking and what that is?
I mean, we're in a mode where, right now computers are somewhat, for as advanced as they are, they're still a little bit behind as far as computer processing and being able to do stuff live on stage. You deal with latency issues. It's really hard to use outside plugins because there's more latency issues. And so in dealing with that, we've had to bring other computers on stage, and to make that happen, we have to really, network our computers together through Ethernet, MIDI, and all these kind of technical things. But it's not an easy thing to find because not a bunch of people are doing that. A lot of people, if you see multi-computers on stage, are trying to press play at the same time and hook things up like that. And it's really taken a whole nother, because we want to make it happen on stage, so really dig in and try to find as many resources and make the technical stuff happen too. It's really a kind of a mindfuck when you're going through it, because that you want to make this shit happen. It should be as easy as pressing a button, but it never is. There's still all these. What's that?
Do you guys use Macs to?
We don't use Macs. The best for us is just using the internal MIDI of both computers, and then going through an Ethernet hub, and it syncs up. We've never had a dropout on that communication ourselves. Over 750 shows now and stuff. So but every one of these brains up here are still ahead of where computers are now. Computers still got a long way to go to catch up with us.
There's no face melt preset.
There should be.
You
come up with it though.
You can get anybody that really makes bass music to take you into the studio and show you what goes into synthesis. And I think that's the thing that nobody understands. Like It's not like you just like pull up a sound and press the button. You know, it's like so incredibly complex and deep that, and I think that's a part of the thing that guys come to me most, like, you know, like, how are you doing what you're doing? I'm like, you're gonna have to, you know, like, you pick one synthesizer and make every bass sound for 40 releases with it for 3 years. And then maybe you won't sound like someone else.
Good luck.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very.
Do you think we're too far off from just a dubstep preset this style?
Can you speak up?
Oh, sorry. Do you think we're too far off from just dubstep make this wobble preset around this preset?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's already
there's photos all over.
So this
filters.
it's already out there, but like, see, this is like what you have to understand is like, this is still like this culture is still DJ culture. We have different gear, right? I was talking to Downlink and Bear about this like at a show like 6 months ago. If you know who those guys are, right? Basically what this is like back in the day, we would be like running around, going to record stores, digging through crates like in 1980, trying to like beat Washroom, like one-up each other on tunes that no one has. Now what we do is we sit in our relative studios all across the world and try to prove to each other that we're better at using Massive. You know what I mean? So it's still, but that's the beauty of like, that's what drives electronic music, and I believe it's like the hip-hop culture. That comes straight from like Jamaica. That's not anything different. Where it's this kind of like team effort to elevate and to do something different and to constantly push the sound. And, you know, guys that play around this music, like, you know, you could play us a random smattering of tunes over the last year. We could probably tell you what month they came out. I mean, that's just how it is. It's how it's always been. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is.
It's a positive competition.
It is. It's and you know, and the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. This festival, I mean, you spoke to it earlier. Like this melding of like jam music. I mean, I was a rave guy. You know what I mean? And if you'd have told me for like the first 10 years of my career that I'd never sit with a guy that came, you know what I mean? But like our paths were like not. I mean, they were the same when they weren't. But I mean, you know, this fusion of like live music, looping. You know, it's really a very unique time in electronic music. For people that are relatively new, I think it's hard to explain like how magical like what's happening right now.
It's a special time.
It really is.
It's the meld, it's the folding of everything.
Yeah, it is.
One.
Right. You get a bad economy, Ableton Live, and really powerful computers.
I got a question for all of you. What do you see as the future of that?
Older music.
That's a hard question.
I mean, hopefully it's so surprising, you know, that it's just, you know, I remember the first time I was standing on a dance floor and I was really into breaks, and then I was starting to get into a little bit of halftime stuff, just like 7 years ago, and then I'll never forget when the DJ Lioness played a Scream track, and it just come out, it's the Midnight Request line, and I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of space. Like, that is a lot of space between those beats. And I remember just talking about it for like a week. And I bothered people, and I had to find that music, and I looked all over the internet. It was really hard to find. And I think that I hope the future is something that surprising. I want to say, oh shit, again, over and over and over on dance floors for a long time. And go, what the hell? You know, because that's the feeling that I've been chasing after. So, you know, it's like, I don't think it'd be fun to say, or maybe someone else has an idea where it's going to go, but it's kind of boring to like think of where it's going to go, you know.
I don't think there's a closing to electronic music. It's so open because of the availability of technology. You can loop, you can put anything in your song, and you can make it something from 1950, bring it to now, and make it a hit. And I think that's really powerful. I think that's
We're just listening to Stevie Wonder on the
everyone
on the panel.
That's what I was just thinking of when you asked that question.
There's a Stevie Wonder.
I have a vision of like a 20-piece live drum pad dubstep group.
I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
How it would be possible.
Getty step, maybe?
It would be.
Sasquatch step out there?
20 people all on different drum pads making one huge video.
I have a question.
Or I can maybe I can
I just kind of want to know, when you guys go up there on stage, are you guys trying to like show the audience why you are the best, or why like
strictly going in to make people feel good, period. Like, that's my goal. That's why I wake up in the morning. I just want to make people feel really ridiculously good. And so that's why I get up there, is to try to do some of that.
I feel like when I play music, it's just something that I feel like I have the need to express it. And playing in front of people is really a great thing, because you're taking something that's coming from your head, putting it down on a computer and bringing it into a place like this. It's like, it's really incredible to see the whole transformation happening and people watching me go through this like transformation of music. And it's like, my goal is like never to stop trying new things. So I think that's where electronic music is going.
Well, my goal when I go on stage, usually since I'm with Eminence, we're not like headlining all our shows, so we'll probably be opening for someone or something. And my goal is basically to go up there and make them feel better than they did, and pretty much just warm them up. Like, don't go too heavy or too soft, just sort of uplift them into the headliner, where they'll just be uplifting.
When I get up on stage, and honestly, that's my 9 to 5. Like, that's everyone here can nod to that, I'm sure. It's nothing different from the day before. The next day, you're just doing what you love to do, and you hope that people respond to that, you know, and like what you're doing. But honestly, you get up on stage, and that's what you're doing. That's what you like to do. That's your job. Life.
Agreeing to that, my goal. If you can just look out and see that everyone's smiling, maybe doing this, maybe shaking their ass. That's really all I need. That means you're doing your job, they're doing their job. It's just
Artists, if you could speak up too. Awesome.
I think it's about for us, like as being as a band, about elevating like what's already happening. It's like you either try to meet where the crowd is, or you try to bring where the crowd is up. But either way, you're just trying to build on that enthusiasm, that energy in the room. And we play a lot of structured tracks with a lot of improvisation on top of it. A lot of interplay between the musicians on stage, electronic, like pre-programmed kind of sets and songs. So it's about bringing a fresh energy into the room and trying to pull it all together and pull it all up.
When I was like 18 years old, I was at this warehouse in Denver. This dude hit me played this record, and it changed my life. Like, I can look back at it now, and I can tell that that one singular moment, I can pinpoint it. Most people who do what I do can tell you that moment, that song. I got that song too. So like the Shardays, Pearls. There was only like 500 out. But so when I play, I was talking to a guy about it earlier. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do to participate in music at this level that isn't necessarily conducive to what you thought you had to do when you started. I mean, it's the nature of the industry that we're in. But when I step on stage and put my hands on the gear that I use to perform, it immediately becomes about me and the audience. Because my goal, I shudder to think what would have happened in my life if I hadn't had that moment. So my goal is to try to do the best I can to produce that type of experience, and at least one. What if 1,000 of them like it? That shit's cool too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
that's like similar to that what you guys been talking about, Shambhala. That's what this shit's all about.
Creating moments like that for someone else it's one of the biggest compliments is for someone to come up and say I was totally inspired, even if it wasn't in a musical. Well, I mean, inspired in a musical way, but to do whatever they wanted to do to be good at it. Even if they're not necessarily getting into music, just that you inspired them to reach another level for themselves, or something. And going on stage, I always just try to stay inspired through the whole set, try to be as truthful, and this is in the case of me and Travis, it's all us. We're just putting it out there, and that honesty and truthfulness and inspiration of where we're at in our musical lives right now is, I think that translates, that people feel that honesty coming from the stage, and also covering the range of emotions too. Growing up as a kid, I was in all kinds of music, punk music being one of them. So I'm okay if at some moment we're you know, screw it, let's get the double bass drums going and a little bit of fuck you going on, and you know, and other times it's like, let's bring it in for a group hug. Let's hug each other for a little while, you know? And do your own thing, but take them through the range of all that. Now we're gonna go to the most, you know, the furthest planet from where you're at right now, and now the next song's gonna be all about the soil and where you're at in the moment, and digging in and getting funky and getting ugly and getting dirty, and, you know, but covering that whole journey. And if that translates, you know, for what we're trying to do, and that translates, well, you know, that could be a powerful thing. And just, you know, stay inspired. Someone else saying that they're inspired by what you're doing is, you know, check it out.
You know, a lot's been said, and someone said earlier that we're in a time in this genre where things are molding together, and it's sort of piecing bit by bit every different genre that's been out there together, and it's making more acceptable sort of thing. And I'm not saying it's not acceptable, but it's really great to be on stage and to play music at a festival like this, where you know it's electronic driven, but it's open to so many ideas, which is very awesome, because I think that's what electronic music is. It wouldn't have gone anywhere for the people that didn't have another idea on it. So I think, yeah, I mean, honestly, I could be playing jazz, I could be playing death metal on stage, and it doesn't matter. If you're doing something that speaks from your heart as an artist, if you can express yourself in a lot of different ways, and it's really fun. It's really fun to be part of it. It's really a blessing. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, like, it's not a competition personally.
Yeah.
For Octopus Nebula, it's more of a vibrational thing for us. Using these technologies that have come out that are advancing, like you're saying, every month, you know, every day they're getting better. Using that and using live instrumentation to basically elevate, push people, make them feel happy, bring that vibration to different places, like you say, get down to the earth and go out of outer space. Ultimately, just to create that vibe and share that with people.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at it more of like as kind of sound healing, where people come to the shows because they want to escape. They've got like a bad breakup, or also we want to
I know we've talked a lot about Massive and producing, not necessarily jam band, Iodo and Eminence Ensemble especially. How do you feel that this kind of festival involves your style? And how do you feel that mixes with bass music?
This is the last question, by the way.
Wow, that's a good question. I'm done.
Sorry.
Will you ask the question again louder?
Okay, sorry. So for people like Eminence Ensemble and a little bit Iodo, but more you guys have a full band kind of thing. How do you feel that this kind of festival involves your type of music, and how do you think the bass music revolution has changed your style of music?
Wow, I don't know if it actually changed, but it inspired.
Honestly, we're a product of that culture.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all Colorado natives, and we've grown up.
We grew up listening. We went to Sound Tribe every summer at Red Rocks, you know. And we heard Glitch Mob, and we heard all these great DJs and all this great electronic music. But do I have to answer this? All right. Well, the beauty of it all is that electronic music, it all stems from a beginning. And it all stems from instrumentals. And the bottom line is you wouldn't have the sounds you hear out there if it wasn't for one guy sitting in his room playing a bass or playing a drum beat in his room. You know, it all stems from somewhere. It's equally as great as anything you can imagine. But like, the bottom line is it's like I said, it's beautiful that you can incorporate all of that into the same thing, because it wouldn't have started without one thing, without the other thing. You know, it wouldn't be what it is. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I got some good stuff for you. It's just relating to the scene is so I mean, there's a whole generation of kids that are growing up now where it's like, you know, the top maybe even 20 on the radio, with the exception of some country songs, is like all programming. There's a whole generation of kids growing up listening to programming. Like, it's not a different thing where when program music was first coming in, I guess maybe late 80s or early 90s or something like that, there was such a turn-off switch to like, okay, that's not rock and roll, that's like, you know, whatever. Such a dividing line between, you know, what's real music and what's not music. But all the kids that are coming up now are like, you know, whatever. So my parents listen to the Grateful Dead, and my friends listen to this music, and my friends are taking me to all these jam festival concerts, but I get down like this, so I'll go with my parents to, you know, whatever, and then the late night time I'll go with my friends there, and it's not so many dividing lines. And if you look at the way the festival scene has helped, you know, bring people like on a really big scale, like a Bass Nectar. Well, Bass Nectar's done the same for the festival scene. Just about every festival you go to around the country now, at least the late nights are almost all DJs and stuff like that, let alone being, you know, overtaken. You know, Bonnaroo, there's a bunch more DJs, you know, this year, and there's just not as much of a separation for the kids, you know, for the older generation. It's like for some, you see a computer on stage and they're not making music, and one of the, you know, some of the great stories are like, you look at Mimosa and Heyoka and stuff. I think both those kids were like street cheese store kids, or, you know, with dreadies and stuff. And now they're like the super duper hipsters that live in Silver Lake out in LA and produce great music, right? Starfire? Oh yeah. No, but it's just, you know, those dividing lines are gone, and kids still get down, you know, even after a late night, you know, they'll still play some Paper Dead stuff, and, you know, or whatever, you know, it's such a less of a blurry line, and I think people are just loving having so much fun with even more music, you know, to dive in as deep as you can, and, you know, when, well, I'll just leave it there for now. But you know, that influences. I'm 40 plus, you know, right now, and but my whole life I've been, one of my first musical experiences after I started playing drums is I used to know the guy that used to program all the stuff for Miami Sound Machine in Miami. He was the first guy to have a drum machine in Miami. He became this amazing producer. So when I'm like 14 years old, I buy a drum machine to try to learn to program Janet Jackson beats and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just like this, and that's way back then. So kids now are just don't have those dividing lines. And you see it so much, I think, more in the jam scene than in particular the electronic scene, because people are open to seeing, you know, people with instruments in this genre now. But when Iota goes to play like in particular like a rave festival where they don't really even know who we are, you know, you see that switch, that connection happening. It's like, oh wow, you're allowed to play instruments in this kind of music, you know? For people who hate seeing live musicians, because there's that culture out there too. So it's just so nice that all these barriers are getting broken and pushed.
Okay, with that, everybody, they're going to serve dinner in about, they want to serve dinner. So here's the deal. We've got Vibe Squad, we've got newcomers, they got voted in. Which one are you? Eminence, oh, you're Eminence, but you voted in.
Well, we're eminent, but we are an ensemble.
That's close here.
We
got
is
Jason
equal
Ham,
eminent.
we got Octopus Nebula, we got David Starfire, and we also have a random rap who just showed up last night.